Let me introduce you to the IDOBAO ID67. This is a mechanical keyboard with a 65% layout, and this is the keyboard that I'm going to be reviewing today. I know it's been out for a while, but I enjoy making these kind of videos for fun, so I'll most likely do reviews as I get them. And here's just a quick look at the case. I just got black because that's all they had in stock, but I really do like the sleek design of it. And here's a quick look at what we're going to be making today. Before we get to that point, we need to do some modding. I got the bare bones kit, which means it doesn't come fully assembled with switches and keycaps. I actually bought those separate for this build, and I'll show that here soon. Now, this keyboard is hot swappable, which means you can switch in and out with any 3 or 5 prong switches, so basically cherry stem profile. One thing I noticed right away is that there is a lot of ping in this board, and we are going to need to get rid of it. Actually, overall, I found the basic regulation sound to be kind of poor, but after modding, it's near perfect in my opinion. I'll be getting into these more in depth later, but here are the keycaps and switches I will be using, and here's what the board sounds like stock. So needless to say, I'm not that big of a fan of the stock. Thankfully, we can take this bad boy apart. In the bag, they give you a nice screwdriver thingy, I don't know what it's called, some rubber stands, extra screws, and some stuff for if you need to redo soldering, which I will never do because I am lazy. So I started out modding this by using the tape mod by Tempest. This is a really old mod where you just put about 2 to 3 layers of painter's tape on the back of the PCB, which kind of helps dampen the sound a bit. I would also like to point out that this board came with a ton of case foam, which was incredibly surprising and very helpful for this build. Now, I tried to do the Killmat car sound dampener mod, but anytime I tried to re-screw back in the case, I felt like I was going to snap the PCB in half, so I eventually decided against it after like 20 to 30 minutes of just trying. With all that squared away, it was time to put in the switches. I was going for more of a certain aesthetic, but I also wanted a switch that I have never tried before and fit kind of a cool theme. And the switch that fit that theme for me was the Dang Keebs / Texie Strawberry Milk linear switches, because who doesn't love strawberry milk? I mean, look, it even came with this cute little bottle and sticker. I'm not going to go into the whole details here because I want to review these separately, but I think this will fit the board perfectly. So now it was just a matter of lubing these switches for the next 2 days of my life, and then we were ready to go. Or so I thought. So I don't have any footage of this, so here's what the board looks like with all the switches in, but when I put this entire board together and I was ready to do my final sound test, I kept getting a horrible ping and ticking sound on my spacebar, and it took me way too long to figure out what was wrong. Turns out I had to take apart my entire keyboard again and do the holy tape mod on my stabilizers, which basically means putting some band-aid inside the stabs so the metal wouldn't rub up against them and cause that horrible ticking sound. So I recommend everyone else do that who gets this board. Thankfully, I got that figured out and was able to put the keycaps on. The keycaps I chose are once again from Osume Keys. I'm a huge fan of their designs, and it's the Sakura keycap set, or Sakura. These are a nice pink and white color palette inspired by the spring season, and yes, I know it's not spring yet, but my god, has winter been depressing. These are cherry profile PBT die sub keycaps, and these are the perfect keycaps to pair with my strawberry milk switches, even though you can't see them, but at least I'll know. I think the board turned out great. I like the black case, and honestly I think it's a better setup than my first board, the Keychron Q1. The tape mod seemed to be just what I needed to make this whole board go to the next level, and it came with a ton of case foam already, which made it even better. The only downside to this board may be that it doesn't really have a lot of flex in it after I did the tape mod and then including all that aforementioned foam. Honestly though, I can tell you it sounds great. I'd give this board a nice 9 out of 10. I do hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to comment what switches or keyboards I should review next. And as always, stay for the sound test.